Hey guys, what's going on? It's Davin and Anna show, minus Anna today, because today we're talking guy talk. No, that's not really what it is. Some of you know this about me, and some of you don't know this about me. By the way, sitting to my right, we have John Dascom, also John LaQuali. Dascom Quali, okay? Yeah. LaQuali. Sorry there, guys. And they're with GoFixIt.com. And one of the things you may or may not know about me is I'm a real estate agent in Rhode Island, in addition to doing all the radio and media stuff. And what led me down the real estate road was I have actually rehabbed a couple of homes, sold them, did pretty well on them. And every time I'm the sort of person where I'm a do-it-yourselfer. I'm the kind of guy that, I like, if there's something that I see and I see a big price tag attached to the job, I'm like, nope, I'm doing that myself. I'm going to save me money because I am flipping cheap. Mm-hmm. I just am. And so I'm fairly mechanically inclined, so I can fix stuff. And I've put some of those videos up on YouTube and so forth. But one thing that I've discovered as a real estate agent, as I go and look at all these properties, is I see people with either two scenarios. They're either looking to buy a home or sell their home, and they need to fix their home, and they got all these little things that need to be done, and they're like, well, can I just get money for it? If I sell it as is, how much can we get as is? Because they're intimidated by doing the work, quite honestly. Or you see people that are buying homes, and you've probably been in this position yourself, where you see a home, you're like, gosh, it's so ugly inside, and what were they thinking with this, and what's with all the paneling, and okay, we're going to have to gut this place, and then you look at it and you deter yourself from getting a really good home because you're afraid of all the work that lies ahead. And so I discovered these guys with GoFixIt.com, and that's what you guys do, is you fix up all these little jobs, and big and small, for people that need work on their homes.
We do.
I don't mean to take the whole interview away from you, no. but I was really impressed with the scope that you guys can do. And we've all seen these nightmare DIY fails.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
absolutely.
You guys have probably seen your share of things out there.
No doubt. How about the bathrooms, like the pink tile and the yellow tile and the bright blue tile, right? I mean, we see those bathrooms all the time.
We had one bathroom had carpet in it.
Oh, yeah.
Wall-to-wall carpet in the bathroom.
Yeah, right?
Toilets and everything, yeah.
Well, my this is whatever. And because they don't want to be cold with their feet, and they put the carpet all the way to the tub, and they just step on the mat before you get on the carpet. So you don't, mess up the carpet. So you got to put a mat on. And it's just, it's like some of the logic. And I don't know, but for me, a lot of times I'll find myself, doing some sort of repair and going, okay, do I want to do this myself, or do I need to hire a pro to do this sort of thing? Mm-hmm. And my question to you guys is, and everybody watching right now, if you're watching this, you have any questions on, is it cost effective to do it yourself, or is it cost effective to have a pro do it? If you have any kind of DIY questions, today's show is for you who are thinking of taking on any kind of project. And by the way, if you have a home you need to sell or buy, I can help you with that, but you call me later. Okay, so anyway, but what are some scenarios where people often, what's the biggest thing where people unknowingly get in over their heads?
Well, I think just to kind of touch upon what you talked about before, and we see this a lot of times, we work with agents like yourself on a daily basis where that client is looking to sell that house, right?
Right.
And as you know, you've got an inspection report that you have to do prior to sale. And inevitably, Davin, there's always those 10 or 15 items that need to get done, whether it's a little roof, whether it's a little outdoor repair work, whether it's some broken tile, replace a toilet, paint the bathroom.
Is it ever just a little roof? I mean, a roof is always
I know.
It's $10,000 at least,
right.
But
yeah, they're expensive. They're expensive. So we see that and run into that all the time. The big thing is just the coordination piece. As you know, when you have 10 or 15 items, that oftentimes means 10 or 15 or 20 different subs, right? You need a tile guy, you need a hardwood floor guy, a painter, you need all that stuff. And I think it's just homeowners and real estate agents, would you agree? It's tough to manage that process. So kind of we've developed this step-by-step process, and it's really why we formed it, where you just call us and we kind of manage and coordinate and handle it all. So,
and see, that's what I love about what you guys do. And I honestly wouldn't have you on if I didn't think you have something worthwhile to offer, because, I mean, as you know, there's like a million contractors out there. I mean, you can throw a stick and hit a contractor, someone, who's got like that old beat to shit truck with a contractor logo on it, and it's like, okay, he's by definition a contractor, but is he any good? Mm-hmm. Is he going to overcharge me, or is he going to come and show up at the job and then leave, and then in a month or so it might be done, it might not be done, with excuse after excuse after excuse. And that's why I've done so much myself. Yep. But I'm totally guilty of this. I have actually gotten myself in over my own head, and the learning curve sometimes is very steep when you're thinking, okay, it looks easy. I've seen the guys on the DIY channels do it all the time, right? Which has got to be good business for you guys.
Yeah.
Well, it goes back to what John said before. It's all about really time. I mean, pretty much anyone can paint. But
Right.
do you have the time to paint? I know even my own busy life with the kids and going to sports and whatnot, it's just time. And do I have the time to do it? Do most people have time to do it? To go back, if they have multiple projects that need to be done, do you have the time to coordinate with different subs and different trades and meet with them at different times? Most of the trades are working during the day. They can only meet at night. And then you're busy, hopefully they show up. Some of them are not responsive. They don't communicate well. So we take all that pain out of that process and make it easy for the client.
So I was there, and the other thing I'm going to touch on really quick that, again, this is for anybody watching live, or if you watch it after we're live or whatever, you can message me. You can reach out to the guys at gofixit.com.
2 X's.
2 X's, just like on the logo up there.
That's right.
So you see that. But something that happened to me, this is a true story. I was up in my attic, and I was doing some wiring or whatever up in the attic on this house I was rehabbing. and I know, you step on the joists, the studs that go, along the ceiling there in the attic. I know that's where you step, because if you don't do that, this is what happens to you. I mean, and honestly, God's honest truth, I'm doing the show. I mean, I'm doing the work in the attic, and I'm walking along, and I'm carrying a hammer in one hand, a flashlight in the other, and I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and I just lose my balance. Because you're walking on like these little mini balance beams with the studs and everything, or the joists up there. And as I'm doing that, I literally fall through into my armpits, which, by the way, hurts like hell. If you've ever fallen and caught yourself with your armpits on joists, not comfortable.
Not comfortable.
Not at all.
My wife and kids, Anna and the kids, they're watching SpongeBob or whatever, and then all of a sudden, Dad's body comes crashing through the ceiling right over them, and they scream like crazy. I'm like, what are you guys screaming for? I'm the one that just bit it. I mean, they're like, and one of the kids starts crying, like, oh no, Daddy's hurt. And that was me. This picture right here is literally like me falling through the ceiling. and by the way, I did a good job, but guess what? After I did that job, I now had a new job to fix, which is I had to learn how to patch the ceiling and hang drywall. And, I'm like, okay, now I got to do this.
Exactly.
And so.
Exactly.
I mean,
we see that all the time. Craziness.
Yeah. I mean, there could be a lot more dangerous things, especially if someone wants to try their own electrical work and plumbing work, the danger of that, someone trying to get into the fuse box.
Great point.
And, we hear some crazy stories out there, people trying to do things themselves, don't even know how to use a saw. They're putting their fingers through saws and
I get
to the hospital.
No, there's all kinds of interviews. One thing also I did, I'll just touch on this. It looks easy to put like crown molding in. It looks great. You go to the Home Depot or whatever, and they've got all these beautiful selections of crown. And like, oh, that'll be nice. I'll put that up there, and it'll just fit right up there. And I'll just buy this little crown joint box, and everything will be fine. But the thing is, they don't realize that you got to flip it upside down, measure it backwards, and all these things, all these little tricks of the trade.
Sure.
Right.
And then there's, what I did was I had to build myself a jig, which is a jig. You put this, like build a form so you can mark where the new crown is going to go, because you have to mark it in the ceilings, right? And again, as a homeowner, a cheap homeowner, I'm trying to figure all this stuff out myself, because I want to sell this home that I'm in, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to make money on this house. I'm going to put the nicest crown. I'm not going to pay anybody a damn dime to do it. That's my mindset. And so I'm doing it. And when I go to build the jig to make the form to put my marks, I made the mistake of holding the crown a certain way, and I have my nailer in the other hand. And you can guess what happened next. I sent a nail right through my thumb, like a 2.5-inch finishing nail through my thumb, and I was like, it happened so fast.
Yeah.
I'm holding it, and I look up, and I go, it's stinging. I hold it, and I'm like, oh, that's nice. And that didn't hurt so much, I'll be honest with you. But yanking that bad boy out.
Sure, yeah.
Have you ever done this?
Yeah.
Have you nailed a thumb or a finger?
I've never thumbed, but stepped on one. But certainly stepped on a nail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not good.
The in is not as
fun.
bad as the out.
Yeah,
the out is what sucks.
It's way worse.
And to make matters worse, I did it again to this thumb another time after that. And I was paying attention, okay?
Is that why you got out of carpentry?
Yeah, no, I mean, the thing with carpentry for me is, like I say, there's that learning curve of knowing how to do it. And then when you start going to the store and you're buying these lengths of crown or whatever it is,
sure,
and you cut it wrong because you bought just the right amount. You're like, okay, it's a 12-foot length or a 10-foot length. I'm going to buy a 12-foot piece of crown. That'll be good. It'll give me enough on each end to measure, put it in there. But then once you get it wrong, that 10-foot piece of crown that you just cut is 9.7 or whatever. You can't put it back on.
Nope.
And then you got to go and buy a whole nother piece of crown.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a shorter piece to like butt those two ends up together, then it looks all weird and goofy. And then you're spending all day caulking and making it right. And it's it's a headache. I mean, things like that. You don't.
Those butt joints are awful. You see it all the time.
It's tricky.
Yeah, it's tricky.
It really is.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so so the reason why I'm doing this show for you guys is that I know, because I've seen a lot of you in your homes here in Rhode Island, as I see houses, like I say with the real estate business, and I'll see things where people will be like, oh, that's just too big of a job. I can't fix this. There's no way I'm going to get what I want out of my home because I'm not going to spend thousands of dollars, blah, 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 to have people I don't trust come into my house.
Exactly.
Correct.
And so that's why I want to introduce you guys to the Go Fix It guys here,
Cool.
John and John.
You got it.
John and John, because you got the H and he's just Jon.
Yeah, we make it easy, John and John, right? You get one of us, I guess. So
yeah.
The other cool thing that is interesting is as we were talking a little bit about it, we do small stuff, right? So a lot of times you think it's overwhelming, when you're looking at that broken tile or, that damaged hardwood floor or the trim, or you need a paint, you're thinking it's overwhelming, right? Number one, I don't, like John talked about, you talked about, I don't have the time to do it. How much is a gallon of paint today, right? It's a lot of money, 50, 60.
The cheap stuff is like $25. 20, I mean, entry level, like it looks like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like the crappy stuff is $22 a gallon.
Yeah. What are you doing? You're paying it rather than giving it, 2 coats. You're giving it 5 coats and make the right coverage rather than buying a good.
Right. It's more like a stain than a covering paint.
Exactly.
It's like, who makes this crap?
And who wants to do that? You work all day. You don't want to do it at night or take your weekends off, right? I mean, weekend warrior, whatnot. So so even the small stuff we can manage and handle, which is kind of cool. So literally just last week, we put a toilet for somebody. So just because, it's big construction, we can actually do small stuff for you. We can literally just paint a room, put a toilet in, do a little bit of tile work.
And it's like $5.
Yeah.
It's so cheap.
It's not that cheap.
Oh, okay.
But my point is you can chunk it, right? You don't have to do all of it at once. Why don't we, and I have one client down in Rhode Island that literally we paint a side of his house every year. So literally we'll paint a side. Next year we'll come back, paint another side. So it's not like, you don't have to take the whole house out.
So we got a few people watching right now. Lisa, thanks so much for watching. If you guys have any questions for these guys, comment on the wall right now. Seriously, you can comment or you can call in and they can answer any questions you may have as far as like, is it something that you should even mess with or, whatever you may have. I mean, because inevitably, if you're a homeowner and you're like me or anybody who's had a home and if you're in a relationship or you're married or whatever, there's also always the argument that precedes the repair and then comes post-repair if you're doing it yourself. There's always the argument.
There is.
Whatever it is. Am I wrong?
Yes,
right.
always.
Right.
And then how many times do you do something and God, I wish I just would have paid somebody because, okay, I saved $20, but my wife is all over me or it didn't turn out right. And now I'm frustrated and I lost time that I could normally spend with my family rather than doing something. Because I mean, whenever we were rehabbing that house, Anna and I, it was the continual, you don't have time to spend with the family. It's, when are you going to be done with this project? How are we ever going to live? When are we going to just live? I'm tired of just not living, because there's a lot of people who, it costs a lot to do stuff.
Yeah.
And so your time becomes worth something.
Yeah. How about multiple trips to Home Depot? Right? I mean, because you don't have the right tools, right? I mean, how frustrating is that?
Okay. All right. Because when I was rehabbing the house, because I argued so much with the wife about things as we're doing stuff, and we don't fight typically, but it was very, you get into these situations where you're very high stress. You're just stressed out and you're just at each other. I would purposely forget stuff sometimes, so I would have to drive up to Home Depot and back.
Let's get out of the house.
Yeah, I'm going to go see Wally, the pro at Home Depot, and he's going to just talk to me for a while about football or whatever, just so I can get away. But no, you're right. I mean, and then of course you spend tanks of gas, and it can be really such a pain. So so if you guys have any questions at all, if there's anything you want to put on the wall for comments, or if you want to dial in, you can do that as well. I'm going to show you some funny stuff that we found. Again, as a realtor, we see all kinds of crazy stuff. And a lot of times people do stuff that is nowhere close to code, like, put a second bathroom here. It's a second full bath. And so here's one of those pictures where they needed that extra toilet. And so I'm not even going to talk about the peach colored walls in there, but it's like, it's good enough. It's probably, down in a basement or whatever, but still.
Yep.
Trying to sell that house.
Yeah, that'd be tough.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's a tight
that's
spot
tough.
there, isn't it?
Yeah. And then you talk about not passing inspection. Well, every time it rains, your socket bleeds water. Probably not the best move of all.
Water and electricity don't mix well.
And then sometimes if you're like me, you may have been working too fast on something just because you want to get it done really quick, and that's where you make like the worst mistakes. So here's one of my favorite fails of all time on the internet. This guy guttered in his ladder, putting the downspout in, and just that last piece. We'll just attach it here and here and here, and boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And so
I think you showed one picture before when we were talking. I just went to look at a job, and there was a
the water coming through.
The wire.
Oh no, I showed you this before the show.
Yeah.
These guys had the wires on the front of the studs behind the drywall,
Right.
which is totally a code violation. Everyone knows you go through that stud. And,
So I just had a situation where a client hired a contractor, was not licensed, wasn't insured.
Right.
Same scenario. I believe he had a price from one guy for like $40,000 to do a kitchen renovation.
Jeez.
He was talking to one of his friends. Said, hey, you know what? I got this guy who doesn't work on the side. He can do it for you a lot cheaper. Of course, the guy says he can do it for $20,000. He gives him a deposit of $14,000 to be, hey, I'll give you the money to get started. He took the money, disappeared on him. Called him multiple times.
Yeah.
Finally came back, started a job. Then all of a sudden he disappeared. Another guy came in because he wasn't performing, so he hired somebody else.
Yeah.
Cost him another $8,000.
Yeah.
This guy comes in, he had to put plumbing in. David, he cut all the exterior joists, at least 10 joists of the house.
Yeah.
To get a piece of drain in.
Jeez.
And the inspector went through there and said, who did this work? And the guy told him, I do this all the time, to get piping in.
Yeah.
And he just,
Right.
ruined the whole integrity of the structural wall.
Yeah, never mind the structure of it. We just,
it's
throw the pipe right through there.
Right. Yeah, right. So,
Yeah.
rather, dinking him through, getting the right contractor in there, he's trying to save money.
Yeah.
And what happened? It's going to cost him more in the long run because we're going to have to go in there and fix it and
Yeah.
redesign everything and get it done right for him. But
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Let's say I've got something as simple as, I don't know, I got some paneling to be taken off. I don't know, just some cosmetic stuff, whatever the job is. Say I got a bathroom I need to get retiled.
Sure.
I want to retile a small bathroom because it's got that old pink tile in there. What is like a typical turnaround time for you guys to get a job done? Because I don't want to be without my bathroom for weeks on end because we're a family of 4 and I need all the bathrooms.
Sure.
What can somebody expect if it's something that's as straightforward as ripping out old tile, throwing in new tile? I know it's the scope of the job and all, but what do you expect out of the guys you have working with you?
So I'll answer that question in a little bit, John, if you want to add at any point. But we do things a little bit different, right? Expectations are really important to us, and we want to make sure that we're and our clients are on the same page. So we've kind of developed this little step-by-step process, which is neat. First step is kind of site survey. So I'd go to that bathroom and I'd kind of check it out. I'd take some notes. We'd take some measurements, obviously a bunch of photos, and we would develop, step 2, we develop a scope of work. So everything that you're asking. So we detail and line item everything that you've asked us to do. And many times in those bathrooms, right, you're going to replace a vanity, maybe the vent ceiling light you're going to replace, maybe you replace the toilet and the tile, maybe the tub shower unit is one of those old cast iron, pink tubs. We see it all the time. So I'll develop kind of this quick scope, and we actually send it to our client. And we ask them to approve that, which is kind of neat, right? So very similar. I mean, you see it every single day. Most contractors out there today, they just give you one line item. They'll say bathroom remodel, and here's the price. Right. What we do is we detail it out. This is everything that we're going to do to make sure that the client's on the same page. Once they approve that, then we provide pricing, which is really cool. And if it's a go, we simply literally ask them to sign our proposal. We get half deposit up front. And many of our projects we're starting literally between 7 and 14 days from when those approvals are done. Inside of 7 to 14 days.
Nice. That's fast.
Business days.
The homeowners don't have to worry about the undermount sinks coming loose with the glue or anything like that, like in this picture. That doesn't happen.
Exactly. and in a bathroom remodel, like we talked about, right? We've got an electrician oftentimes, right? Because he's putting the light, maybe he's changing some outlets. We've got a plumber involved. We've got a drywall guy involved. We've got a painter involved. We have a tile person involved, right? So right there.
And you're orchestrating all these guys, so they don't have to call and deal with each person. And
exactly.
Because that's one thing I did know when I was rehabbing our house back in Oklahoma was, I couldn't do a lot of work because I had to wait on the plumber. And it's like, I can't do anything. And it's like, and then if you have like weather issues, you're like, okay, I can't paint outside today because of this, or I can't do this because I'm waiting on the plumber, and the tile guy can't go until the plumber's done. And so you get this backlash of people like, okay, I'm going to have it done in 2 weeks. But if the plumber doesn't show, then everybody's screwed.
Yes. Great point. Yeah. Great point.
It's true.
When you start and put that schedule together, you say, hey, I need to turn this bathroom around in a week. This is my only bathroom that I have. Right. You got to make sure all the guys are coordinated correctly. Right. And if you don't, one guy misses one day and it just pushes the whole project off. So, yeah, you're right. He misses one day. The next thing you know, if the drywall guy was going to show up on the day after him,
Right.
next thing you know, he has another job. So, that pushes him off another day.
Right.
And this adds time. Next thing you know, a week project is taking 3
Right.
weeks, 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of you guys are probably watching this by now, after the fact. If there's ever any questions you have, you can certainly message us. You can comment on this wall. You can also go to gofixit.com. And you guys have a comments or a contact section on your website as well.
We do. It's all over the place. I mean, what's really cool about our website is there's multiple areas. You can go on the service page or right on the home page and click Start Your Project Now. Fill out a quick little form, and we're off, which is kind of nice. Yeah, so
nice.
Yeah, just provide some basic information, and we'll be out there. We'll be following up, calling you, and then we'll schedule.
And you have like contractors, you have people you can service all of Rhode Island and is it Southeast Mass?
Southeastern Mass, exactly.
Cool.
Yeah. If John, do you want to touch upon kind of the contractor piece and really like you talked about that, anybody can be a contractor, right? So
no, yeah, by law. I mean, you just do the paperwork and
Yeah.
you're a contractor. Hey, look at me, I got a hammer and I'm good to go.
Yeah, so the guys that we put in play is right are we literally everybody that kind of would show up at your house. We've worked with, we have certification paperwork, we do our due diligence on. So it's important for us that we put the best of the best contractors there who are going to show up, who are going to perform, who are going to communicate, and that's key for us, right?
Yeah,
because
cool.
like you said, who wants to have a bathroom job that takes 3 weeks when it should only take a week, really? So,
right.
Yeah.
So do you guys have any home tips for people that are thinking of doing something? Anything that might take the headache out of a process for somebody? I mean, I know it's
Go fix it. That's very
that's it. That's the tip.
No,
but I was thinking in terms of like simple tricks of things that you can do yourself, because a lot of people are maybe they're looking for a little encouragement on something, or I know it's a little bit counterproductive for what you do as a business, but for the sake of helping people who've sat through all this and watching, what have you got?
I mean, the biggest thing before you tackle any project, I think, is just to really think it through. Really understand what you're getting into. Knowing a budget. Everyone's, like you talked about before, pricing is the key to the whole factor. So really trying to think that project through, and whatever you're looking at doing. If you're renovating just a one room alone, you think about flooring, you're painting, and putting that budget together and really knowing what your numbers are.
Yeah.
So that when you get into the job, you're trying to get everything done as quick as you can for the right number. And
It's funny you bring that up, because before we rehabbed our whole house, I thought I did that.
Yep.
And you're laughing already because you know where I'm going to go with this. I sincerely said, okay, I've got this much money to spend. The kitchen is going to be $20,000 on the kitchen. That's it. 20 grand. That was my number to do a whole kitchen. Countertops, cabinets, oven, stove, everything. I mean, it was studs out renovation, 20 grand. But I line itemed it out. I'm like, okay, I'm not stupid. I'm going to do this. But then I didn't know what I didn't know. And I didn't know that I'm going to need extra money for these little pools, or extra money for, when it comes to doing the wiring and extra little things and having the gas plumbed a certain way, because I want the island to have the gas stove on the island. So I got to make sure the gas is plumbed over to there. Well, that's another fee, of course. Right, and then you got all these things. And I'm like, oh, I forgot about that. And I didn't think about that because I'd never done that job before, and so I wound up spending more money than what I thought I was. And even though I had budgeted out, the large items, the fridge, the stove, the oven, blah, blah, blah.
It's funny. We have a client that we talked to, a good friend of ours, and he was telling us when we told him, when we started to go fix it up, he was like, I hired an HVAC to put AC in my house. Yeah. And the guy worked. He was great. Went in. He goes, looks awesome. Okay, how do I turn it on? He goes, well, you need power. He goes, what do you mean I need power? It should work right away. He's like, no, you need to hire an electrician. All I do is install the AC, but you need someone to wire it. He goes, well, I thought I hired you to do the whole complete system.
Well, he's not licensed to do the wiring.
Probably not.
Right?
Well, you think, he would have the right guy to do the work. So again, he's just assuming he's going to get this job done. He's going to have a working system. And now, he's still going to go out and get an electrician. So he's like, do you know an electrician?
And that's the other thing.
Like, no, I don't. But he's like, why wouldn't you tell me I need an electrician? I would have got one on board.
Again, not knowing the right questions to ask because you've never done the job before, because you're not a pro. You don't do this every single day, and it's not your fault. Okay? First of all, it's not your fault if you've made these mistakes. Because you're just in over a scope that you're not aware of. And I had to tell myself a lot of times, Davin, it's not your fault. You're just trying your best. and that's how it went, and I got a trial by fire. And then, now I know a lot more than I did before. And enough to know that it's definitely worth at least having somebody like you guys come and look at the scope of work. And I love, love, love the fact that you guys have all of this under one umbrella, because it is kind of a nightmare to deal with a really good drywall guy or a really good tile guy, but the plumber sucks or something happens and he holds up the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's so many different people. So
and that's what's neat. Great point. That what a lot of folks love us about, a lot of homeowners is that we're the one point person.
Yeah.
Like you said, if that plumber doesn't show up for 2 or 3 days, now the homeowner's picking up the phone, trying to chase that. Where are you? How come you haven't shown up? I've given you a deposit. And then guess what? The drywall guy doesn't show up because he's picked up another job. So same thing. Now you're calling. What's great about us is you have one call to us. We manage, handle it, coordinate it, and get it done, which is kind of cool. So.
And there's always some family friend who
always.
There's always some family friend that goes, well, why didn't you call me? Why didn't you call so-and-so? I got a guy. And it's always some friend of a guy of someone who has no obligation to be loyal to you whatsoever. And you wind up putting it on your family or your friend's back. And then the liability is, well, you said this guy was legit. And the next thing you know, you've blown up a friendship or a family relationship because you think they screwed you over. And in fact, they just, things just go. You can tell I've had a lot of drama in this department.
Exactly.
I'm just saying, there's always somebody who has the best of intentions, but then stuff just falls apart. Best laid plans.
Yes.
So anyway, but I don't want to take up too much more of your time, guys.
Yeah.
I'm glad you came in and
we appreciate it.
If you want to come on some more, we can set up some things where people can call in and ask you guys specific questions.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Like honestly, yes, I do the real estate and everything with Keller Williams, and I'm more than happy to help you guys with anything you ever have going on. If it's something you just need to have looked at with a property, there's never any obligation, and this isn't pitch or anything. This is me trying to give back to you guys for watching our show and being engaged in what we do, and we share a lot of our lives with you on the air here on Facebook Live. So I thought, these guys would be good to connect to people because, I'm going to be using you guys to help some of the clients that I work with get their properties ready so they can ultimately make more money off of what it is they're trying to sell and not, just lose their minds over, getting from point A to point B.
Yeah.
And so.
David, one other thing, too, if I may, which is kind of cool, again, not to go back, but I do, because I think it's important, is we talked again about that if there's multiple projects in the house, which you see all the time, right?
Yeah.
We line item everything, and what's great about us is we honestly, we don't care if you do it all. We don't care if you do 1 or 2 items, which is neat. So it really, the client is in control. We see that all the time. We're like, John, hey, listen, this winter we're going to just knock out these 1, 2 projects, and then in the spring maybe we'll do 2 or 3 more.
Could I just have you come and install a doorknob? I'm just having a hard time with this one doorknob.
Hey, we'll do it.
We've done it. We've done it.
Have you really? Have you done just a doorknob?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Really?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, we had someone just wanted to put some window locks on top.
Window locks. Yeah,
and that's it.
We'll put some window locks.
Or how about this one? All right, I broke off with my girl. I need to change all the locks quick before she gets back. How fast can you change locks? You got a guy?
We got a guy.
Yeah, okay.
We got a guy.
All right, that's cool.
How do you know Rhode Island? Everybody's got a guy in Rhode Island.
I know. Everybody does, right?
I know.
And it's usually Manny or Joe or something like that. It is, but or John.
Exactly.
But,
John. Exactly.
Yeah.
So hopefully they'll lean on us, right? The John and John show.
No, these guys are cool, man. I'm just telling you, if you need any help, you can reach out to them. It's let me put your logo up again there because it came off for a second there.
Cool.
It's gofixit.com with 2 X's.
Yes.
If you only use 1 X, you're gonna find yourself on an adult site somewhere. Just because it always winds up that way. You always wind up finding nudity on the internet.
I didn't know that. I got to check.
Well,
that
you don't want to put if you put 3 X's in the logo, don't do it around the kids. Is all I got to say.
That's okay. That's hilarious.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Anna and I are going to be back on later on tonight with a normal live show, and from time to time, just check our Facebook wall. We're going to be doing all kinds of cool things to help you guys out in your daily lives, and as we just meet all kinds of cool people as we're doing more with the Facebook Live thing.
Yeah,
so,
excellent.
Good stuff.
Yeah, so thanks for coming on, man.
Oh, man,
right,
we appreciate it,
us.
David. Thanks so much.
All right, guys. We'll talk to you later. Thanks so much, guys.
Right.
We'll see you.
Thanks.